Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. How two powerful traditional leaders failed the Ooni of Ife on the most crucial night of Queen Naomi's restoration, as third full moon ritual was completed without offering this rite. Now we have that this offering a day rite, offering day rite is supposed to be the sealing part of the ritual, a part where a prominent traditional rulers, enlisted by Ifa, will witness this, okay, as a witness to the gods from, the physical realm, and, give their sealing to the rite. Now, they said that is a tradition for every, full moon ritual that has ever happened in the history of Ile Ife with the kings, okay? This rite is very important. The rite is one of the major, as in crucial rites, okay, that is expected to be performed. But this time, Ooni of Ife deemed it fit to, call on two of his prominent leaders from Osun State to be a part of it. And everything was going well. Even a night before that night, they had confirmed that they were coming. As in vehicles, royal vehicles were sent to these elders to come, as in to go and bring them to come for this ride. Only for Ile Ife people to get the biggest disappointment of a lifetime. Like everywhere, people were murmuring. It was, in fact, it was like the ground should open for people to enter. They said Queen Naomi had already started crying. Like Queen Naomi had already started crying so much, because you look at it now, it's a very long process. This whole thing has taken a toll on both of them. Even though the Oba is not letting it out, because he is a king. He's expected to be strong. He's expected not to be human. But this is not a small thing. It is not small. Tell her right. It wasn't a small thing that happened though. They said on the most sacred night, when the long-awaited restoration of Queen Naomi to her rightful place beside the Ooni of Ife was meant to be completed, a cloud of disappointment descended over the ancient city of Ife. For months, the royal court and spiritual custodian of the Gise dynasty had been preparing meticulously for the final act of a powerful traditional process, which of course we do know that is the third full moon ritual, okay? We saw how Kabiyesi had to, commission people left, right, and center to go into the groove. They did not succeed. It brought other people. They went into the groove with the very, list of very impossible items that were given to them. All of these things were done because they never wanted this reinstatement to complete. They never wanted it. You and I know that this is not just about the Oloris. Yes, the Oloris, fine, they are there, but it's not all about the Oloris. People who do not want Queen Naomi inside the palace are very many. The traditional people, those people that, they are not just in this realm. They are here, they are there too. Queen Naomi's belief system, her religion and everything. Queen Naomi is too strong for them. So they don't want her there. They have been fighting. As they are fighting, Kabiyesi is fighting. As they are fighting, Kabiyesi is fighting to bring his wife back. They are fighting to pull them apart. Kabiyesi is fighting to bring his wife back. Naomi is a very strong lady, because there is no woman that will not be exhausted at this time. There is no woman. But, God, in his infinite mercy, did what only him can do, okay? The final ritual that was supposed to climax with the revered offerenda rite, a ceremony that not only spiritually seals but also publicly validates the union between a royal couple, especially in matters of restoration. Tradition demanded that this offerenda rite be witnessed and performed by highly respected traditional leaders, not just within Ile Ife, but from other powerful Yoruba towns. This cross-regional endorsement carries centuries of ancestral weight and is not symbolic alone. It is spiritual law, and a law for the first time in recent memory was broken. Okay. The people of Ife had extended invitation and agreement to two very powerful traditional leaders from Osun State, the Ataoja of Osogbo, Obajimo Olanipekun, okay, Oyetunji, and the Temi of Ede, Oba Moniruden Adesola Lawal Limi Nisa one. Okay. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing those names well, but I'm so sorry, okay? The second name is Obajimo Olanikbekun, Oyetunji, and the Temi of Ede, Oba Moniruden Adesola Lawal Lemi Nisa one. Okay, these two monarchs were carefully chosen not only because of their respected lineage, but because their territories, Oshogbu and Ede, are spiritually and historically connected to the sacred kingship of Ile-Ife. These cities are considered guardians of all Yoruba rights, and their endorsement was to be the divine voice of the wider Yoruba traditional authority, acknowledging and blessing the reunion of the Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi. Okay. Now, the Atoja of Osogbu, a first-class monarch, is seen as a spiritual gatekeeper, protector of the Osun River deity, and custodian of one of the most powerful traditional festivals in Yoruba land, the Osun Osogbo Festival. His presence was symbolic of purity, fertility, and spiritual rebirth. The Temi of Ede, on the other hand, is one of the oldest ruling houses in Osun and is revered for his, command in ancestral warfare right and loyalty to Yoruba spiritual unity. Today, together they were supposed to perform the Ofaranda, an ancient rite involving sacred chant, kola nut declaration, white dove offering, and the ceremonial sealing of the, moon ritual with ancestral declaration. Okay. But however, Delarite, let us even revisit what was even done before, so that everybody, especially those who are just coming back, understand. Okay. They did the first full moon ritual 2 months ago, and that full moon ritual was called Ipade Aye Lala. Okay, this phase was carried out in secrecy within the sacred inner chambers of the palace. Queen Naomi, under the escort of the royal Iyalodo and chief priestesses, was ushered to the ancestral room where a spiritual cleansing was conducted using leaves such as Iwe, Akoko, and Iwe Abamoda. Okay, you remember I said that before. Along with sacred chant, Queen Naomi was spiritually prepared to re-enter the lineage from which she had once stepped away. The Ooni of Ife was also spiritually, stripped of any lingering, anger of Queen Naomi. Okay. Now, the second full moon ritual, known as Imole Aye, I mentioned it here before, was performed at midnight near the ancient Upper Urimayan. This ritual, attended by select members of the royal council and Iro Mole devotees, was the reaffirmation of vows, not through word, but through shared offerings and moonlight libation. Queen Naomi and the Oni stood beneath the full moon with their hands tied together with a white cloth symbolizing unity. A bowl of ogi pap was shared and eaten from the same calabash, signifying spiritual merging. And now came the third full moon ritual, the most significant and the one that required public witness and communal sealing, known as Ifihan Olowa. This ritual was to be conducted in the open courtyard of the ancient royal grove. Okay, both the Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi dressed in, white, and of course, they were done in their royal apparel. Though this very ritual, it's of course secret, like all the rituals. To say they are secret rituals. Like it's not something that will be in the news and all of that. These are very, very important ritual for these people. Now they say at the point the entire kingdom held its breath. The next part was the Oferede rite, where the two invited monarchs were to come forward and perform their spiritual responsibility. They were to, lead a chant known as Oriki Atofunga, okay, a call and response incantation that would spiritually reopen and reseal Queen Naomi's crown. They were to pour libation over a three-legged stool carved with emblem of Ile-Ife, founding oracles, declared blessing. Okay, they were to declare blessings, release a white dove to the skies as a sign of peaceful unification, and hand over a symbolic gold stamp, head tie, that is gele, that only reinstated royal queens are allowed to wear, right? These were the things that these men were supposed to do. But shockingly, on the night of that Oforonde ride, neither the Atoja of Osogbo nor the Temi of Ede showed up. Their royal escort arrived earlier in the evening, giving the impression they were, close behind. But as time stretched into the early hours of the morning, the sacred groove remained incomplete. Drums, stopped, chant paused. The white dove, meant for the final offering, fluttered nervously in its cage. A feeling of unease swept the crowd. Everybody was so, in fact, they said Ife was like, people who were there, they didn't even know what to do. Like here, we are talking about a full moon that will disappear anytime from now. In Ile-Ife, a lot of people were whispering that political interference may have played a part in the kings not coming, as in those men not coming. But a lot of people feel like it's the same thing that has been happening, from the very beginning, where, they never wanted this to succeed, okay? A lot of people say that maybe it has something to do with those people who will be paying them up and down not to do what they are supposed to do. Whatever the reason was, they failed to appear, and in the absence of that external validation, the rite remained unsealed in traditional terms. Still, the Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi chose not to retreat. With quiet dignity and, spiritual resilience, they went ahead to complete the full moon ritual as, planned. Though without the offerende as down approach, Queen Naomi was led to the sacred pond, behind the groove, where she waited silently under the final full moon, surrounded only by the Iyalodo, two senior priestesses, and one of the Oni's most loyal aides. The Oni himself stood by the pond side, reciting a royal invocation passed down from his great-grandfather. The dove, which had waited all night in its calabash cage, was released at the break of dawn, not as a sign of offering, sealing, but personal commitment. So the crowd that had gathered dispersed with mixed emotions. Some wept at the broken protocol, others rejoiced at the beauty of the ritual and what it symbolized. Inside the palace, however, the tension was clear. Queen Naomi had spiritually rejoined the Oni, but until the Ofarandes rite is performed, her restoration remains incomplete. But what is important from what we are hearing is the full moon rite. Now, they said that if that full moon had passed without them performing that very rite, that they would have waited. Some people are saying 4 years, some are saying 12 years again to perform this. So that very rite has passed, so they don't have to wait that much. Now, they said Ooni of Ife can make out time and invite other people who will be available to come and do the Ofarendes rite. That is, accepted in their tradition, that is how they do it. At the end of the day, you say the kind of battle that these people are faced, but however, everybody is jubilating, everybody is celebrating that, this whole thing happened this way. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged rumors. Unverified information making the rounds on social media should not be seen as fact.